Hi, welcome back. In my last video, I discussed many methods of drop-down lists, and I also created a dynamic drop-down using named range. And this time also, I'm going to use the dynamic drop-down, but the commands are different, the functions are different. So this time, I'm going to use query function to get the drop-down. And why query function? I'll give you the reason for that. So let's move to our Google Sheet. So myself, KK Singh, I am GG leader Agra, and I'm a Google certified trainer and innovator as well. So I have the sheet over here. If you see here, so this is my Google Sheet, and here I have taken some states and major cities of these states, like Andhra, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, and so on. And the major cities of these states are also there. And what I want to create a drop down, like if I click on the particular state, a drop down list of the major cities should be displayed in adjacent row. But what happens, let me show you how to do this, then I'll explain another function that is called uh, the transpose means you have to swap the rows to column and column to rows. So the columns value will be reflected in rows or adjusted in rows, and rows values will be adjusted in columns. So first we create the drop down list. So see here how to create this. I'm going to create the drop down in this sheet. For that I have taken the header. So I'm going to create the drop down. So I'll click the the cell, and over here I'll have to click on this cell as right click on this cell, and I'll get a drop down menu, and from this drop down menu I'll create select the drop down list. So over here you see there are some options. One is drop down and other is drop down from the range. So I'm going to select drop down from the range. So here I have to select the range. So my range is here. So this is my range for which I created a drop down, and say done. So if you see here, when I click on this drop down, I'll get the list of the states. So whichever state I click here, the respective states, cities, major cities should be displayed in column B. So here, if I uh, apply this drop down, so how to do this? I'll have to use the query function. And that time in my previous video I used named range and indirect function, but this time I'm not going to use a named range and indirect function. So what I'm going to use here, I'm going to use query function. So query, and what is my data range? So my data range is this. So this is my data range, and then comma, in double quotes I'll have to mention the SQL query. The SQL query, the people who know about uh, SQL, the structured query language, they'll be get to know how what is the query and what is the SQL structured query language, and how to apply the query for the data. So I'll have to mention select what I want. I want to use B column. Why B column? Because B uh, has the list of cities. B where A is equal to, since I have to give the cell address and it should be in a reference mode, so I'll have to mention ampersand sign and close the query, and we'll mention 0. This all, and here I'll have to mention, say, B2, I mean A2. What is A2? A2 is this. So if I click on Andhra, it gives me the major cities of Andhra, and if I click on, say, Arunachal, so it will give me the 5 major cities of Arunachal Pradesh. If I click on, say, Goa, it will give me the 5 major cities of Goa state, and if I click on Madhya Pradesh, it will give me the list of Madhya Pradesh, major cities of Madhya Pradesh. What if I extend this like this? Okay, when I click, you know, Arunachal Pradesh, it is not giving. When I click on, suppose I extend this also, now it is giving me the error. Why? Because when I clicked on any of the state from the second row, it gives me the reference error, and accordingly it gives the proper result also. But in the first row, it shows the reference error. Why? Because here this is Madhya Pradesh, this is one state, and its major cities are reflected in B column, and since B column is already having 5 cities, and that is why the second state, when I select it, cannot extend the data, and that is why it is giving the error. So how to overcome this error? For that error, I'll use the different function, which is the transpose function. Means I'll have to switch the rows to column and columns to rows. So over here, when I created this list, I'll give, suppose I extend state, I extend the state, suppose here, and I take suppose Bihar, and gives me the major cities of Bihar. But if I select this, and here I select this, so this Arunachal is giving me the issue. Because what about the list of this state? So what if I manage the cities horizontally? And that is why I suggest I must use, or you should use, the transpose function here. Correct? So what I am going to do here, I am deleting this data, and this data I am also going to delete. And here I'll use the query function with transpose. Transpose, then query, then I'll select area, and after area I'll use select, SQL query select, and what I want B means the state, cities where the state is. So state is in A column, so I'll take A is equal to, and it should be in quotes, double quotes, and here I'll use ampersand, then A2, because state starts from A2, A2, and close the ampersand, and then close double quotes this query, and after query I'll have to mention no header, so I'll use 0, and then transpose, and after completing the query I'll press the enter key. So see here, if I click Madhya Pradesh, it gives me the major cities of Madhya Pradesh in a horizontal manner. So if I click on Arunachal Pradesh, so I'll copy this formula here, so it gives me this, and if I copy this to this place, I can have the major cities horizontally. So if I extend this again like this, and formula like this, and I use suppose Goa, it gives me the 5 major cities of Goa horizontally. So if you see, observe the query function here, transpose and query function, transpose and query function, transpose and query function, transpose and query function. So this way we can use the drop down in dependent drop down list, and dynamic. It is dynamic because as soon as I change the state, accordingly the major cities of that state appears, major cities appear in the corresponding row. So this is how we can create a dynamic dependent drop down in Google Sheets. So hope you like it, and if you like it, kindly drop a message or drop a comment in description box. So I'll be motivated by seeing this. So we'll meet in the next video with some more functions and scenario. So till then, bye bye.